This is fun. Well, that is because it's an SUV.
Well, that is because it's not set up. Fuck. Dude, I'm literally stuck.
Morning guys, happy new year. It's the 1st of Jan and today we got two very special cars, a Stelvio Quadrifoglio and
Giulia Quadrifoglio.
yes, two full clubs to start the year, and that's a sign of good luck.
Yep.
And January in Australia, it's way too hot. Now, given that we have filmed both these cars, we declared that the Stelvio was one of the best sports SUVs out there, and the Giulia on the other hand is one of the best sports cars out there, and is more fun compared to an Audi RS5, an M4 or a C63S. Given the similarities when it comes to being great, let's talk about the major difference of these cars, starting with the exterior of these cars.
Okay, which one do you want to start with?
I want to start with that.
Now the exterior of the Giulia, now the very first thing I'll say is this car is pretty much bone stock and it's got the Carbonia package, which basically means there's carbon everywhere.
Everywhere, literally everywhere.
Yeah, and we've done a full review on both these cars actually, go check them out. But this means, the Carbonia package means you get carbon fiber hood. We don't want to do that again. I'll just put a clip of what we did last time.
Now this also does get the Carbonia package, which means you get a carbon roof, a front splitter which is also carbon, the carbon fiber grille cover, carbon fiber side skirt, carbon fiber mirror caps, carbon fiber hair, carbon fiber spoiler and a carbon fiber hood.
Back to this car now. I think it does look good, it looks very aggressive, and the thing is, compared to the Stelvio, to me, the Stelvio kind of looks better, unfortunately.
Yeah, true. With the Carbonia package, it is quite nice and aggressive. And one thing I just now noticed
What?
is the side skirt.
We noticed that before.
Yeah, but I remembered it only now.
Okay.
Like as I look down, like the side skirt start from here and it goes
So
thinner
it
to the back,
starts thick at the front and then goes
which
narrower.
is quite nice. And I remember telling it in the review as well. But this just is a bit more aggressive. I don't know why, but the color has something to do with the color is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I think this is definitely more aggressive than the Giulia, but the thing is, it could be due to the color, but I think the main reason is due to the fact that this car is lowered and then it's a bit thicker compared to the Giulia and the wheel arches flare out. So that's why, but even the front of this car definitely looks better because the front bumper styling is a bit different, even though most of it looks very similar. And the thing is, I actually prefer the exterior style of this compared to the sedan, because even at the back of this car, even though it's an SUV, it looks better. Because if you look at the Giulia, the front end is long and then the back end is a bit short compared to normal sedans. So exterior wise, I'll have to go with the Stelvio.
Same.
He didn't say bless you.
Bless you.
Anyway,
Another thing that we noticed while editing this video is the fact that both of these cars look like a catfish from the front. The exterior is pretty much the biggest differentiator between the two, so it's time to talk about the similarities. Let's start with the most obvious one, the interior.
I think I'm gonna start with the Giulia and then move on to the Stelvio. Sorry, no, I'm gonna start with the Stelvio and then move on to the Giulia. My bad. Anyway, stepping in. Now, first things first. This feels massive sitting here. It really feels like you're sitting in an SUV. The seats are pretty much the same thing in both cars. And the steering wheel. Now, I do love this steering wheel. It's got carbon fiber, leather, and... oh, this doesn't have Alcantara. I think that does. But anyway, one thing I love about both of these cars is the fact that the start-stop engine button is on the steering wheel itself. You do get a small infotainment system here if you start it up. Hopefully we don't get demons. Now it is small, and on both these cars I think they did a terrible job, but cockpit wise they definitely look good because they've got carbon fiber literally on the center console, on the dash, on the doors, literally everywhere. And the main thing is both of the cockpits look similar. Now let's set the space in the back because that's really what matters when it comes to an SUV and a sedan. And I'm going to turn off the engine. Spacious. Now I was comfortable in the front, and leg space, it's comfortable, but then my knees are touching this. Got plenty of headspace though. It does feel a bit tight in here despite it being an SUV, but let's check out the sedan and then compare it to that. Okay, let's start with the front. Now, from what I remember, this looks better. Okay. Ooh. The very first thing is this is angled more towards you compared to that. And yes, it's pretty much the same thing. But I'm sitting very, very low compared to that. I kind of prefer that because I'm sitting a bit higher.
Well, that is because it's an SUV.
Well, that is because it's... No, shut up. Anyway, back to this now. This has Alcantara on here and this steering wheel is definitely better than that, even though the only thing different is the Alcantara here. And red stitching is a bit more apparent on this car because this bit is red compared to that. And this has the Carbonia package, which means added carbon fiber everywhere. And the main thing, space at the back. Let's go. Oh, now we see why the SUV makes sense. You see? Yep. Yep, that's why you get the Stelvio. That's literally why you get the Stelvio. Plenty of headspace. That was more spacious compared to this. I mean, obviously because it's an SUV, but then I didn't expect the difference to be this visible.
Or you just don't be 6'3".
No, you have to be 6'3". But the main thing is, this cockpit looks so much better compared to that of the Stelvio. That's because of the red leather over there. And the other thing is, once you're in here, getting out is a bit of a hassle because the driver's seat is placed in a way that I am comfortable, and then getting out, oh god, I don't want to make this car dirty. Fuck. Oh. Dude, I'm literally stuck. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, there you go. And the thing is, this door, look, it's very, very narrow. So if I had to get out normally, I wouldn't be able to. That's why the SUV makes a bit more sense compared to this.
Another major similarity of these two, both of these engines are pretty much the same thing. Some call it the baby Ferrari engine, so let's talk about it.
The main thing about these two is that they both got 2.9 litre V6 engines, which produces 503 horsepower and 600 Nm of torque. Now, this has all-wheel drive and this has rear-wheel drive, which makes this a bit more fun to drive. And this has a higher center of gravity, which makes it a bit more nimble in the corners.
But so you're telling me both of these engines are the same thing?
Yep.
And they're baby Ferrari engines as well?
Yep.
Now the
two less engines.
Yeah, the thing we've noticed today is the fact that even though the Stelvio is the taller car, this engine sits much lower compared to this.
Yeah.
And this car is on coilovers as well, where it's lowered. It's not on coils, but it's lowered. So this might have an advantage that way.
Sure.
Now, pricing wise, both of these, a very good example of these can be picked up for somewhere around 85k, depending on the year and the spec. Now, that is actually a very, very good price for that.
Both these two.
I think 85k for the Giulia Quadrifoglio.
85 for M3 as well.
I mean, you can get a very, very nice M4 or a C63 or the Audi RS5 for that price, but then I think that it's
maybe
right on the money.
Yep.
So
that as well, like, it's, if you get the Carbonia package, if you get it as Quadrifoglio, then yes. But if you get the normal
Giulia, then it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
They might be similar engines, but they're two different body styles. Now, let's take them for a drive, see what they're like. Starting with the Stelvio. Now, the very good thing about this car is you're sitting quite high.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm at that dad age where I would prefer an SUV over a car. Or a wagon. The thing is, sedans are not really my thing.
Unless it's a good looking sedan.
Yes. I think the Giulia is good looking. Yeah.
Giulia?
But the thing is, when it comes to driving, the main disadvantage of an SUV over a sedan is, well, higher center of gravity and cornering is not really the best in an SUV. But the Stelvio, when we drove it, when we're currently driving it, this thing handles so much better than most sedans that we've driven.
That is true.
And the acceleration on this, the braking is a bit bad, unfortunately, and I think braking is a bit bad on both the Stelvio and the Giulia, unfortunately. But the thing is, driving the Stelvio, I don't feel too indifferent compared to driving the Giulia.
Yeah.
Because this thing, and now it is lower, now that helps as well. So if you're really looking for a car which is practical, which can carry your family or carry your furniture, I think the Stelvio is definitely the better option.
The better option, yes. Now compared to the two, this is like, I mean, it's both interior is basically the same as
Yeah.
well. But I don't know, just because this sits higher than the Giulia, I just feel like it's a bit more nicer. And like Dylan said, we have reached a certain age of 24, 23 where we do actually like SUVs rather than any other car
Yeah.
and wagons. But this is just more, it's nicer,
Yeah.
just to say.
Now the other thing is the Giulia. Yes, it's a sedan, but you can't really carry 4 people or 5 people and then be comfortable on the long run.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you drive into a different city. Now if you're in Australia, you would know what that means because this country is way too big. Anyway, but with the Stelvio, you can really carry 5 people and most of them will be comfortable except the one sitting right here. And performance wise, I can't really tell too much of a difference between this and the Giulia.
Yeah.
Both of the engines feel very similar.
It is similar, it is just basically the
Yes,
same.
and the main differentiator to me is literally the point of view. I'm sitting so much higher. That's the main thing that I've noticed between these two cars.
Yeah, that is true.
So, would it really make sense to get a Giulia over a Stelvio?
That is a good question.
Yes, if you're... I think basically, even though we're 24, we prefer SUVs. The thing is, the Giulia is definitely more fun
Yeah.
because it's rear-wheel drive. But this feels more balanced. It kind of feels a bit quicker due to the all-wheel drive system because it has much more traction. And the thing is, even though the Giulia is a rear-wheel drive car, I think it's very indifferent to me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, that is also, it also has the fact that the Giulia is way more lighter than this is, so it is a bit quicker. But this with the all-wheel drive system, I know, you feel a bit more safer.
See?
Sound,
Yeah, this thing sounds amazing.
it just sounds good. Now both the vehicles do come with quad exhaust, which is quite nice.
Oh, those options. The thing is, see, when you're driving this car, despite this being an SUV, it will put a smile on your face. I will guarantee you that. Is the Giulia more fun than this? On the corners, yes, because it's rear-wheel drive.
And then you know what to expect.
Let's put the windows down. Is that a cop? No, it's not. So we are safe. Oh, this is fun. Say what you want to say about the Stelvio compared to a Giulia, but this is fun. What a start for the year, by the way, before we even...
Not too bad. I mean, 2025.
Okay, let's go for a drive in the Giulia. Now, the very first and most noticeable thing is the fact that I'm sitting so much closer to the ground compared to that of the Stelvio. I mean, obviously, because this is a sedan. Anyway, and the second most noticeable thing is the fact that this car is so much lighter. It feels more easygoing compared to the Stelvio. The Stelvios are like all the time. This is like, I'm chill. This is the chill guy. But this car is equally as fun because they're literally the same engine. And between 2,000 and 3,500 RPMs, there is so much turbo lag on both these cars. Well, actually 4,000 RPM. But to me, this is much more fun around the corners because it's rear-wheel drive. I think one of the other best things about both these cars are the gearboxes.
It is very well responsive.
It's very responsive.
That is one thing that we noticed when we did the full review on these two vehicles previously, and it's just lovely
It's-
to drive.
It's so responsive. See? Oh, oof. But the thing is, now compared to the Stelvio, that's the main thing that we're focusing on today. This is more fun because it's lighter and it's got rear wheel drive. So I think, especially on a windy road, this would be the car I want to have more fun. But if I want to be quicker,
Yeah.
well, the Stelvio is definitely the better option because it's all wheel drive. And
Unless
you're better driving a rear wheel drive car,
true.
which is not me, unfortunately. My all-wheel drive skills are much better than my rear-wheel driving skills.
Yeah, until a Contra might actually
End up on a tree.
end up on a tree.
That never happened. Anyway, the thing is, if you're young and if you're looking for a car which is fun, cheap, not cheap, but then fun, cheap, got rear-wheel drive, is better than a BMW M4, is better than a C63, is better than a Audi RS4, this is the better option.
Yeah.
And the interior, now obviously the touchscreen is a bit annoying, but
I mean, there are pros and cons
yes,
of owning a vehicle such as this,
yes,
but it's just
the thing is, it's just complete your sentence.
exactly.
It's just what?
It's just. I don't
What?
know. I don't know what the word is, but
Yeah, fucking
just-
don't say it then. It's just, anyway.
I mean, look, it's
It's
a. Can you shut up? It's Alpha with a baby Ferrari engine.
yes, it's
For a
fun to
young
drive.
guy that would like to drive with rear-wheel drive,
This is the
is
Alpha
a
to get.
sensible option.
Yes,
If you're a young guy, the old personality like the two of us, and likes the SUVs or wagons, the Stelvio is a better option.
we'll find out in a bit. And the thing is, a lot of people have been complaining about Alpha reliability. That's a myth, to be honest.
And the two owners that
Of
the
these two?
these two vehicles, when we first
haven't
saw
complained at
them,
all.
not complained at all.
They're
And
pretty
we saw-
reliable cars
yeah,
if you
exactly.
drive them the way they're supposed to be
Yeah.
driven.
And they daily drive both these vehicles.
Yes.
And the owner of the Stelvio has two Alphas.
A 4C as well.
Exactly.
And they're pretty reliable cars.
Yeah.
We will give you that Alpha owners. They're pretty reliable cars. We
Mhm.
won't say that they're unreliable anymore. And let's get on to the final thoughts.
Yep.
And it's time to give the final thoughts of both these cars. So here we go. Final thoughts of the two cars. Gavin, if you had to pick between these two, which one would you pick?
I'll have to go with Stelvio.
Ooh. Honestly, the thing is, coming here, I was thinking I would definitely get the Giulia over the Stelvio. But now having driven both of them back to back, it's a very close call because
Yeah,
they
it
both
is.
feel very, very similar. And I think I would still have the Giulia. The
Yep.
Stelvio is
The Stelvio is.
more, it
I
makes
know.
more sense.
It makes more sense. It is sensible in the way where you can, say, move houses. You can literally
Move houses.
transport furniture like
that-
the owner does.
Yeah.
You can use it as work use. There's a lot of things, cons that you can pros at.
It's a proper family
It's
car.
a proper family car. Well, this is as well.
Yes, but
If you're people like me and
Yeah,
not
for
like
sure.
people like him.
yes, the thing is, I would still have the Giulia because it's rear-wheel drive, and despite me feeling like I'm 70 years old, I still want to have fun when I'm driving, and I think this is the car you want to have fun in because that turbo lag, and when that turbo kicks in, this feels so much better because
Yeah, and
it's
also
rear-wheel drive.
when it's lighter,
Yes,
it's just
but
Yeah.
I think the Stelvio, it makes so much sense to get that, but
Yeah.
this is more fun. I'm not saying the Stelvio is not fun, it's equally as fun. Dude, I was smiling from like ear to ear when I was driving that, and I think this is the same thing but with rear wheel drive, so you can send it sideways unlike the Stelvio.
yeah. Mention.
And yeah, so the conclusion, both options are good,
Yeah, it is.
and that's where we'll leave the video. See you guys on the next video.
Thank you.